Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and welcome back to Flower Paradise. And today we have another episode of our Robotics Notes Elite playthrough. I hope you guys have been enjoying. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me, because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as leaving a comment. Let me know anything. Just comment down below. That would be amazing. But in the last episode, we got the grand, not finale, but the grand introduction to Subaru's dad, finding out that his son has been making robots, and for whatever reason, he doesn't like that. Personally, I still don't really understand his motivations, so I'm hoping we kind of figure that out, because to me, as someone living in the 21st century where this is taking place, most people would be ecstatic if their kids were interested in engineering in high school. Like, let's be real. So I'm interested to see why he doesn't like robots so much. I know there's like the whole family business, but like if I guarantee you, if my kid, if I had my own business and my kid was supposed to take over that, but my business was failing like his fishing business is supposedly doing, I would definitely not be like, oh, well, how dare you not go for my family thing? You know what I mean? But I turn around to find a man I've never seen before standing by the abandoned terminal. What a rugged dude. Though he's dressed pretty gaudy. He walks over with a big stride. It's as if he's exuding this unnatural aura. This dude's definitely pissed, though I have no clue why. He looks like the type who would punch you in the face if you said anything to him. That's the kind of old-fashioned look he has going.
誰？
I glance over to Akiho, but she shakes her head in confusion too. Daitoku-san looks just as dumbfounded. I guess nobody knows him. Well, aside from one exception. There's one club member who is currently trembling, and it's Subaru. He steps back once, then twice. He looks like he's about to run away at any moment. As a result, his foot gets caught on the honorary prez who has just happened to be on the ground.
なんで？
スバル？あの人知り合い？
Subaru!
The old man is now close, so close that we can hear his voice. He calls out to Subaru. I guess they do know each other. Subaru, on the other hand. He's frozen, crestfallenly hanging his head low. There's nothing but despair in his face. The older man completely ignores us and stops right in front of Subaru. Subaru keeps his face down. Maybe he's scared of making eye contact. I have a hunch this guy is Subaru's old man, but I don't intend on trying to confirm that for myself. Me, Akio, and Juna can't do anything but watch what's about to unfold from the wayside.
どういうことだ？
違うんだ。
何が違う？
僕は
何が違う？黙ってちゃわからんだろうが。
Look at his mad face.
ホビーロボで遊んでいました。
The older man swings one of his massive, thick arms. His fist digs deep into Subaru's cheek. Subaru's knocked to the ground with incredible force. Jeez, he just punched him.
あの、
It's during this tense moment that Akio dares to speak to the man. Akio, don't do it. All you do is make things worse. This isn't brave. This is being
い
reckless.
きなり殴るのは良くないと思う。
部長、口を出さないでもらえますか。
Akio's recklessness intervention is stopped in its tracks by Subaru's words.
これは部長には関係ないことです。
でも、
Subaru staggers to his feet. His lips are cut open, bleeding a
お
little.
前は約束したはずだ。こんなおもちゃ遊びは二度としないと。その約束を破ったのか。
はい。
どういうことか説明しろ。
くて
ちゃんと答えろ。
夢だったから諦めきれなく。
何が夢だ。高校生にもなって何を子供みたいなことを言ってる。
Again, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody. Okay, if you're like these are legit like little robots that take actual engineering practice and like some of the most top of the line coding to create. I'm sorry, man, but in 2020, this is 2019 when this takes place. And it's technically written like what, like 4 years before the game. Like it was what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago that this game came out. The thing is, nobody is gonna be like, engineering. How dare you have that as a hobby? You know. It's what it is. Coding, like putting together an entire robot piece by piece. It's not like he didn't even have a guide. He built the entire thing himself. Like, I don't know, man. It could be like that country folk thing that I don't understand, but you guys should let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this old man here. Judging by this conversation, the guy is definitely Subaru's old man. It's hard to believe that this rugged dude ripped from the Showa period and this snarky intellectual are related. So this is about Subaru playing with toys? Is that why Subaru is hiding his identity by disguising himself as Mr.
なぜ
Pleiades?
俺が怒っているかわかるかわかるかと聞いている。
未だにホビーロボで遊んでいる。
お前が俺に隠れて約束を破っていたからだ。お前は自分で約束したんだ。もうロボットは全部捨てると。俺の後を継いで漁師になると。あの約束も嘘だったということが。
I mean, I wouldn't want to be a fisherman in 2020 either. I mean, at least in a private, like, small fishing company, it would be very difficult to survive.
そんなんじゃ。
Like, that's why they're surviving off of his grandparents living in the same house as him doing field work. If they weren't there, I don't even know if they'd have a house to live in, at least not one that's, you know, decent.
だったらこれはなんだ。いつから俺に隠れて遊んでいた。
2年前。
2年前 ?2 年前だと。その間ずっと親を騙してきたということか。ふざけるな。
It all happened so fast, there was no time to stop him. Subaru's father grabbed M45 and smashed it into the ground as hard as he could. The Robo 1 Champ, the machine that Subaru worked so hard to build. The crumpled remains of M45 sat on the ground, its arms and legs bent all out of
こんな
shape.
ものは。
Subaru's father then tries to smash it one more time with his foot. Akio desperately grabs onto his
そんな
leg.
ことやめてください。
Oh, Akiho, you still can't read the room, eh? Always acting
この子は
restless.
あなたにとってはおもちゃかもしれないけど生きてるんです。スバルの思いが込められて生きてる。それをこんな壊しちゃうようなことしないで。悲しすぎるからやめてください。この子を傷つけることはスバルを傷つけるのと同じことだと思う。
部長。
Akio. I mean, not that his dad has any... Clearly his dad doesn't give a shit, you know? His dad punched him in the face. Enough to cut his lips open, you know?
これは部長には関係ないことですから。
スバル。
家に帰ってからこのことについては詳しくすぐに帰ってこい。
He angrily swipes Akio's arms away from his leg and leaves.
ということなので帰ります。M45 は適当に処分しておいてください。
処分って何言ってるの？
もういいんです。もう僕の夢は終わったんで。
It sucks to... See, that's why... It's so hard, you know? I kind of understand, you know, that whole thing. You know, his parents just ripping everything away because they don't understand or they don't care to understand. And I just still don't understand why he's mad at him for that at the first place, you know? I feel like hobby robots, like building robots, especially from scratch and coding in them and stuff, is just like... That's an incredibly intelligent thing to do. To me, I don't understand why that's such a bad deal for the dad yet.
失礼します。
Subaru starts walking, his head still hanging low. He really intends on going home just like that. After wiping away her tears with her wrist, Akio calls out to
また
him.
ロボ部に出てくれるよね。ね。
Subaru does not turn around or answer her. He just leaves. I can imagine what kind of conversation is about to go down at his house. Subaru will probably just accept everything his father tells him. Heck, he looked like he knew it was all over once he was caught.
ごめん。守ってあげられなくて。
Akio sits down in front of M45. She gently caresses its damaged body with her fingers.
このロボット直せたり。
純ちゃんもロボに愛着感じるようになった？
まだよくはわからないけど、私も小さい頃に大切にしていたぬいぐるみをお父さんに勝手に捨てられたことあって、その時とっても悲しかったから、それと似たような感じなのかな。うん、きっとそう。純、覚えといてね。日本人って物にも魂を宿らせちゃう人種なの。
Is that how that works? Oh. If anybody's Japanese, you'll have to let me know. You see spirits in objects?
ロボットアニメが日本で昔から人気だったのはね、その辺が関係してたりするんだ。
Is that a good translation?
そうなんだ。
まあ確かにそういう傾向は強いけど、だからって全員が全員そうだとは決めつけない方がいいよ。
I'm wondering if I got any more tweepos here. This isn't the same as Zaku. Okay. Time to sleep. Before that, I gotta watch some Tinu DVD. Interesting. Geijine keeps saying that. Interesting. Geijine keeps responding to Frau Kojiro.
スバル君が M45 にどれだけ愛着を感じていたかはわからないでしょ。
I mean, I imagine
修理するのは
you
そんなに
put
大変じ
years
ゃな
and
いさ。
years of hard work
それ
into
こ
it.
そ毒に頼めばあっという間だろうね。
His sign does say robot clinic after all. Unlike humans, hobby robots can be fixed.
ロボを直せてもスバル君はどうかな。
Yeah.
どうって？
心が折れちゃったら立ち直るのは大変でしょ。
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it, to be honest.
そっか。
I mean, that's dangerous. You're playing with fire on that one. I bet
そうだ
Juna's
ね。
thinking of her time in the karate club.
そ
For
れ
me,
も
what? You're still
よく
talking?
わかる。
For me, I never stopped playing games even after Misane bodied me endlessly as a kid. I glance at Akio. She's crouched down with her hand pressed against her
アキちゃん
chest.
発作？
Oh, shit. She doesn't answer.
アキホちゃん？
Yeah, she is.
ああ大丈夫大丈夫。
I help Akio up by embracing her shoulders. All the life is drained from her face. Her eyes are staring off into the distance. Her entire body is powerless, left at my mercy. I guess all this fuss took an emotional toll on her. I place Fink into her hand, and she weakly grabs onto it.
純ちゃんさ、まず深呼吸して落ち着こうか。
Guess you have to do a short little explanation here for June. Juna does what she's told and takes 2 deep
とりあえず
breaths.
30分もすればアキちゃんは元通りになると思うからさ。悪いんだけど今からジュース買ってきてくれない？金は後で払うよ。スコールとフルーツサワーメロン。スコールはペットボトルね。
Yeah, I feel like it's hard because like I said in a previous episode, like Akio really got the bad luck here. Like Kai, he said he has to be hospitalized for his sometimes, but the only time we've ever seen Kai get the attack was in a perfect situation where he wanted to get the attack. So it just seems like such a benefit for him. Meanwhile, Akio, there's no way it can be a benefit, because experiencing every second as 30 or every what was it? Every minute as like a second or something along those lines. Everything going super fast for her is there's no positive, trait for that. Your reaction time is basically zero, negative, in fact, where she can't even do anything. So that's pretty rough.
わかった。
Despite being on the verge of tears, Juna nonetheless runs off to buy some drinks for us. Time to call Akio's house and have them pick her up. I look down at M45 still laying on the ground. Guess I'll store it in the hangar after I send Akio home. Subaru told us to toss it, but there's no way I can throw it away like that. It's just, I guess going to the Robo 1 World Tournament isn't happening anymore. With those thoughts running through my mind, I watch the sun as it sets and the sky turns purple. I came out of the pouring rain, but Mizuko-san seems even less energetic than
昨日
usual.
頼んだ情報もう手に入った。
She usually grins at me with confidence, but today she just gives me a death glare. Any information on Twipo? Sorry about yesterday. Commuting by bus because it's raining. The rain is just a gloom paradise. I don't know. Been thinking about yesterday. Was karate a dream of mine? Would I want to continue even if my dad hit me? Would I want to continue if I had to lie to him? Maybe I just did it from force of habit. Habit, haha, I feel like crying. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. That's tough for sure. It's definitely hard because I feel like it's a lot easier when you move out from your parents' house. Because, like, for me, being trans is always tough because, obvious reasons. But it's even tougher when your parents don't really accept you for who you are. And so it was so much easier to be able to just be myself and do what I want when I left, and it got me into trouble at the beginning because when you're out of a stifling house, you immediately go ham, you want to do everything. But I feel like it's overall just so much better to finally, get out of that, especially when the environment is very non-accepting. So I feel like, the problem is, like with Subaru, is that Subaru's grandparents live with him. They're working out in the fields in the same house, meaning more than likely he's going to grow up and he's just going to live with his parents for the rest of his life, potentially. Even if he gets married, they have a multi-generational house. That could be very, very difficult for him to be able to get out of that toxicity. And it can be hard because there's so many family values in Japan to where you feel like you have to put your family above yourself. Obviously, I'm not Japanese and I'm only going off of what I've been told, but it definitely seems like it's a lot harder. While here in America, you're 18, you want to get out of there as soon as possible. It's not like you just ignore your parents, but most people want to not have to deal with them 24/7 all the time as soon as they can, at least if their parents are stifling. If you love your parents and your parents are super accepting and stuff, it's not always the case, but there's a lot of parents in the US that can be a little bit hard to deal with sometimes, and getting out and being able to do other stuff is just kind of a natural thing that happens. But seems like Mizuka-san is a little bit upset today. Yesterday I came here alone on my way to voluntarily torture myself in the name of the Passion Accord. I wanted to know why Subaru's father hates hobby robots so much. Me too.
情報ならとっくに仕入れ済みだよ。
Mizuka-san is clearly in a mood. She's looking sour yesterday too, but I insisted. I kept expectations low, but I guess she takes the job
また秋
seriously.
のために一肌脱ごうとしてるんだろ。
まあ、そうかな。
This isn't for Subaru, the club, or because I want to go to the Robo 1 World Championships. At the end of the day, my greatest motivation comes from wanting to support Akio. Despite how I act, I really do want to help her achieve her dreams. I just don't want to help her directly. So at the very least, I do this sort of behind-the-scenes follow-up so that she can pursue her dream
ア
smoothly.
キは幸せ者だよったく。
なん
That's
で
fair.
拗ねてるか知らないけど、そういうこと言ってるとおばさん臭いって言われちゃうよ、水香さん。
ん？
すいません、嘘です。なんでもないです。今日もお綺麗ですね。
The death glare she gives me is enough to make me backpedal immediately. Mizuka-san sighs and gazes off into the distance.
お父さんは息子に後を継いでほしいっていうありふれた話さ。
She suddenly starts filling me in on the
スバルの
details.
父親、日高博夢って名前ね。職業は漁師。ところが息子はロボット工学の道に進みたいって言い出しちゃったのさ。しかもまだ中学生だった頃にね。だもんだから父親は強引に息子からおもちゃのロボットを取り上げたと。
One of those old-fashioned dads, eh? He reeked of old school show it yesterday, and I guess I was
中
right.
学生の頃、スバルはロボットの大会で3位だったんだろ？
ロボワンでね、中学生で3位はかなりの快挙だよ。
The robot boom was well underway, and the Robo 1 was on the fast track to world recognition. Lots of participants,
スバル
too.
は中学生の頃からおもちゃのロボットをいじるのが得意だったわけだ。でも、それ以来、少なくともスバルはロボットには全く興味を持たなくなったし、むしろそれはカイやアキの方が詳しいだろ？
I do recall him acting weirdly hostile towards both Akio and the Robot Club. But now I get it. He never actually hated robots. He just acted like he did, even though he was still fascinated by them. Maybe that's his way of appeasing his father. I threw away all my robots, eh? He was refusing Akio's invitations to join the club because of his promise he made with his father. But because deep down he wanted to keep playing with robots, he disguised himself and entered Robo 1. Damn it,
なんで
Subaru.
父親はそんなにホビーロボを目の敵にしてるのかな。
息子がロボットに夢中で自分の後を継いでくれなさそうだからムカついたんだろう。
理不尽だな。
世の中にはそういう親子結構多いと思うけどね。息子の夢に理解ある親も父親に反発できる息子もそんなにたくさんいるとは思えないな。
See? This is a thing, man. It's tough, especially when you're living in the house with the parents. I feel like it's so much easier to do that once you move out, which is why, like, when people move into college dorms and stuff for the first time as freshmen, it can be such a challenge to, like, be able to continue going to classes and stuff because you have this newfound freedom that you can just do whatever you want, and it can be finally a lot more, you can feel a lot more free in those type of situations.
あ、それとあの人、ロボットだけじゃなくてロケットも嫌いらしいよ。
何それ、ダジャレ？
Mizuka-san cracks her knuckles ostentatiously. I really need to watch my mouth today, lest I not make it home in one
漁
piece.
師やってる人は口には出さなくても JAXA のことはやっぱりよくは思ってないだろ。漁業組合と JAXA は宇宙センターを作るときにきちんと話し合って今じゃ良好な関係築いてるけどさ、漁師の全員が全員同じ考えってわけじゃないだろうから。
漁師と JAXA がなんで揉めるの？
カイ、あんたそんなことも知らないの？島の人間ならそれくらい勉強しときな。
って言われても、俺の家は漁師じゃないし。
Mizuka-san sighs in my face.
ロケット打ち上げるだろ？それでほら、打ち上げた後、途中で何か切り離して落としていくじゃないか。
Yeah.
ブースターでしょ？
詳しくはよく知らないけど、それは当然海に落ちるわけだから、その海で仕事している漁師にしてみりゃ、迷惑だろ？
I mean, that makes sense.
打ち上げ日は漁も禁止になるしね。
ああ、
Yes.
そういうこと。
I mean, unless the thing fall on your face or something, you know?
JAXA はかなり誠意を尽くしてるけど、
Or
あい
emergency
にく日高
landings.
さんところは内心納得いってなかったんだろうね。
でも、それとロボットを嫌うことにどんな関係が？
結局、スバルがロボット工学に興味を持ったのは、JAXA がやったロボット関係のセミナーというか体験会。
ね、そ
Yeah,
れだ
that
け？
makes sense.
ほとんど関係ないじゃないか。
でも一般人からすりゃ、ロケットもロボットも同じなのさ。
I mean, they both are different, but they both require a similar experience in engineering. And I mean, if JAXA, I mean, also you got to think about like in space, you know, they have like the Canada arm or whatever, you know, you use a lot of robotic technology in space. So it kind of makes sense that, you know, a lot of the times, especially like building the space station, that takes a lot of difficult engineering and a lot of robots or robotic type stuff to put together. So it kind of makes a lot of sense if you think about it, that robots and rockets would kind of be put in the same, or at least the space program would be put in the same bracket.
ロボワンだっけ？あれだって JAXA が開催してるもんだと勘違いしてる人この島には結構いると思うし、私だってそうさ。10年前に初めてその大会の名前を聞いた時は同じ誤解をしてたよ。
So that's how it is.
でもそれって解決法は簡単だよね。漁師は仕事としてきちんと継ぐ。ロボットは趣味としてやっていく。それでいいんじゃないの？
そこまでは私だって知らないさ。感情的なもつれがいろいろあったんだろ。
Probably.
感情ね。
His dad even said as much. He wasn't mad about the robots, he was mad that Subaru went behind his back and lied in order to continue. That makes this messy. I doubt there's something an outsider can fix. If anything, a punk like me getting involved would only make matters worse. I feel bad for Akiho, but it's probably not worth the trouble getting Subaru back in the robot
それにして
club.
もあのスバル君が将来漁師か。ひょろひょろでどう見ても体力なさそうだけど。
Yeah, that is a bit odd, isn't it? I can't stop myself from laughing a bit after drawing a mental image of the future Subaru in my mind. Mizuka-san. Ah. She was in the way. An old emotion drifts by in the back of my mind. It's bittersweet, causing something deep in my chest to tighten up. As soon as I close my eyes, I try to get at the bottom of those feelings. The truck I'm riding in rocks back and forth and comes to a turbulent stop. There are no other vehicles in the parking lot of Ushigakuwa Park. I can fit about 50 cars, but the place rarely fills now. A few years ago, it would be packed with people on launch day.
よーし、着いたぜ。
ありがとう。相変わらずあんた、運転荒いね。
法定速度は守ってるぞ。
そうなんだよな。だったらなんだってこんなに荒い運転になるんだか。
I open the passenger door, and then place my feet flat on the ground. As I slowly transition my body weight to my lower body, the Hug's motor activates and stabilizes my balance.
晴れたね。
Kind of feels like the rain from earlier was all just a dream. Right now, the sunset proudly dominates the sky. I give myself a good stretch. The scent of the rain and soil tickle my nostrils. It's been a while. I rarely step outside on rainy days nowadays. The air is cooler than usual, but the moistness still lingers around my skin, and it's a little annoying. I stand up and begin walking. The Hug unit equipped on my legs sounds louder than usual, perhaps because the park is dead silent. Still, the Hug's drive noise has dropped a ton over the years. So says Takagi, my Hug engineer.
おいよ。
Michi catches up with me and hands me his phone droid. I grab it and take a look at the
わかる
screen.
か？もう色は立ち上がってるからな。
それくらい、私でもわかるよ。
Michi and I have known each other since high school. Even back then, he was a condescending prick. I can't even begin to count how many times I've kicked his ass. But even then, I can't bring myself to hate
で
him.
もよ、本当にいるのか？いいか？幽霊ってのはな、それぞれの心の中にだけ住んでるんだぞ。
あっそ。
You can't hate him, but he'll make sure you want to punch him. That's Michi in a nutshell. Having known him for 10 years now, it's long since grown tired of actually reacting to everything he
しばらく
says.
借りるよ。
I stand still, place the phone droid up to my eyes, and scan my surroundings with Ito.
じゃあ、俺は車で待ってるからよ。飽きたら戻ってくるんだぞ。
ああ、
Is she gonna see him? Or is she gonna see Idy? I see Michi through the Ido screen. I then scan my surroundings once more. The reason I'm here is because I'm looking for that girl, that ghost that Kai claims to have seen. I've heard those rumors before, but I didn't think it'd turn out to be Idy. I first learned of her about 9 years ago, but I haven't seen her since, and I didn't want to. After my legs got disabled, I dropped out of college and came back to the island. It's a tiny place. I've had plenty of opportunities to see her again. I mean, I could have easily just made an excuse since I'm an analog person who doesn't even own a tablet. So, what am I even doing right now? What do I intend on doing when I find her? I don't
本
know.
当になんなんだろうな。
I laugh at myself and turn in the direction of the local hall remains. There she is. We make eye contact. I forget to breathe for a second as I stare at her. It's as if she's standing there, tangibly, like a real person. On top of that, Airi looks at me and smiles, happily smiles just like she did 9 years ago. And that single word is enough to shake me to my very core. It's been 9 years since we last met, yet here she is, casually greeting me like we saw each other yesterday.
天気の話聞きたいですか？明日7月18日の鹿児島県種子島屋久島地方のお天気は東の風やや強く晴れでしょう。最高気温は30度、最低気温25度、波の高さ3メートルの予想です。
変わってないね。
Her innocent smile, the fact that she likes talking about the weather, her looks, her height.
あまりにも何も変わってなくてゾッとしちゃうよ。
After seeing her again, I finally realized that I wanted to express a single emotion that I kept bottled up for 9
な
years.
あ、ID。9年。ずっとここに縛られてるのかい？
芝？アイリーにはちょっとよくわからないです。
あんたは今、幸せ？
Ida doesn't answer. She tilts her head, waiting for me to speak again.
ねえ、ID。
Something deep inside my chest stings. I look up as if to escape Ida's honest gaze.
消えてくんない？
I didn't know if this was out of jealousy or friendship. Back then, now, this girl has always been in the way.
寒っ。
Interesting. Well, that's a good place to leave this off. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys click that like button and let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the series to this point. I hope you guys have been enjoying, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.